I'm going to show you everything I use to shoot behind the scenes content as a professional full-time location audio engineer and video production freelancer. So if you've watched my channel for any length of time, or maybe this is your first time here, I produce behind the scenes content as a working freelancer of a lot of the jobs I do, not all the jobs, but a lot of the jobs I do. And this is the kit that I use. So some of you might be surprised that it all fits on this table. I'm going to tell you that the overall plan here is to be small and simple and quick and discreet and all of those things. Because when I am on the move and I'm doing work, I need to make sure that all this gear can quickly fit within my existing cases, and it can pack down and be easy to transport, plus it can be easy to not be obtrusive and get in the way of the actual work that's happening, because I'm just getting behind the scenes of what's happening. So for reference, everything on this table fits in this bag, okay? This is a CRD large pouch. Everything on here fits in this pouch, okay? So let's get through this. We'll start with the cameras right away. So I have 3 of these GoPro Hero 12s. The reason why they're Hero 12s is because I bought them before the Hero 13 was out. I would probably have Hero 13s if I could, but you know, these are 12s and I really like them. Again, why do I like this? Well, I'm a GoPro guy and I go way back with GoPro, so I think the first GoPro I bought was like a Hero 3 or maybe 2, I don't know. So I just understand GoPro and I like these, okay? There's a couple limitations for these that are well documented, but one of the limitations is low light. I would agree, they're not the best in low light, but they work really well for what I need them to do, okay? So I have 3 of these. I have 3 of the exact same cameras. These are all Hero 12s, and the way that I run them is I run them in 4K open gate. So open gate on the GoPro, I'm gonna read it off just so I don't get this wrong, is the resolution that I like to use. Stand by, I'm looking here in the menu. All right, I like to shoot them in log profile, 8:7 aspect ratio, 4K resolution, and then I change the frame rate sometimes based on what I'm doing. So if I'm on a film, for example, where I'm doing audio for a film, I'll change my frame rate to 24 because films are shot at 24. If I'm shooting for broadcast TV, which is what I'm doing this week here at the NFL Combine, I will go to 30 frames per second because that is that matches with what they're doing. I'd normally like to keep hyper smooth on, and I like to keep the ISO maximum to as low as possible. That's the key with these GoPros, is to keep the ISO max as low as possible. Do not put it in auto ISO, put it in manual, and then modify the max to be as low as possible, okay? If I'm outside, obviously, or I'm in bright light like this, here, I'll record this one so we can see it here. So we're looking at the table, and this is in ISO max 100, which is perfectly acceptable for where I'm at right now because I'm in a very bright area. I chose to be right over here by the window so I could get lots of bright light. But if I'm going into the dark, the maximum I will push the ISO max is 800. Everything past that tends to look real bad, real fast. So I don't even like to go above 400 mostly. So that's my tip for the GoPros. The other tip for the GoPros is, as you can see here, lots of batteries, okay? Batteries and batteries and batteries and batteries, okay? You really can't have enough, and I could probably go by with twice this amount. So the reason why I have this amount is because I like to have enough to change off the GoPros at least twice. And then apparently I don't have enough to change them three times. I didn't realize that, but maybe I should buy one more. But the GoPros will consume batteries pretty fast. They consume it less fast if you program the screens to automatically turn off and not stay on. It's always good. And another note for these GoPros when I'm shooting behind the scenes is I like to turn the front screen off. I like to turn the front LED, like red light, off. Again, discreet is my method for this stuff. Discreet, which just means don't bring attention to the fact that I'm shooting behind the scenes. You know, it's not like I don't have permission to shoot behind the scenes, but it's kind of like, just don't make a big deal out of it. Turn off the blinking lights, turn off the screens, like just make it not emit lots of light and all that stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. And these are identical. So before I decide that I'm gonna capture behind the scenes content, what I'll do is I'll just make sure these are all charged up, make sure they're all on the same setting, all on the same frame rate, the same everything, okay? And then we're good to go. The only piece of gear that's camera-wise that I'm not on this table is my phone, which is what I'm shooting on. I don't normally shoot on my phone, so this is different for me to be capturing my main angle on my phone. Normally my main angle is on one of these. The other camera that I rock is I rock one of these Insta360 Go 3S's. I like this camera and I don't like this camera. I'll tell you why I like it. I like it because of this right here. I don't know if you caught that, but I was able to disconnect. I was able to take this completely out. Okay? Look at that. It's out. Then what you can do is you can take, they have these awesome magnets. You can take this, and what I'll do is I'll wear this on the inside of my shirt, and then I'll clip this here as a magnet, and then I have a point of view. So if you've ever seen a point of view of me running around, that's what I'm using here. They also have this awesome accessory where you can, where you can clip this. So you can actually clip this to a hat, and I've done that before. So this clip here will go into like on the top of a ball cap. The other thing this will do is this can clip to like, sometimes I'll clip it to my audio bag. Sometimes I'll just set this up like that, like kind of as a little miniature tripod. You know, that's really great. So I like it for the size and the super discreetness. What I don't like it for is battery life is atrocious. Okay? It's bad. You think the battery life on the GoPros is bad? Well, let me tell you, the battery life on this I keep saying it wrong, Insta360 Go 3S. That's a mouthful. Insta360 Go 3S. Battery is terrible. So you take this thing out, put it on, I mean, you've got half an hour. Okay, half an hour. The other thing I really, really like about this, one of my favorite things about this camera is the fact that after you shoot, if you shoot in freeform mode, okay, so it's key that you have to shoot in freeform mode. There's a setting on here for freeform, which is essentially equivalent to the open gate 8:7 aspect ratio of these GoPros. It's recording gyro stabilization data, whatever you want to call it. You take the files into the 360 Studio app. It's incredible. Okay, it is incredible what it is able to do to stabilize the footage from this camera. Okay, so I'm gonna put up a clip right here. Here's the original before it was stabilized. You can see it's pretty blocky. This is all in freeform mode, so you can see that it's more of a square aspect ratio. And then this is after I run it through the Go 360 stabilizer. It's pretty incredible. the difference that makes. Now the GoPros do stabilize through hypersmooth, and it is very good. It's very good. But the post stabilization you can do in the freeform mode with this Go 3S is rather astounding. Okay? So that's video. And then we'll get to audio in just a second, but let's talk about some of these things. These are just ways that I use to mount the cameras to stuff. Okay? So these are just small clips, all right? And small articulating arm. So what I do is I just mount this, I mount the GoPro. It's got 1/4 on the bottom, mount the GoPro to that. This comes in handy mounting to stands, railings, my audio bag, you know, whatever. This is just another variation of the same thing, okay? This is a straight mount, where this is more of a bendy mount, see, okay? So I use these to mount them to railings and audio bags and just places, okay? Okay, because you always need a place to mount your camera. And then I have an extra one of these. This is just a tilt ball head, okay? That comes in handy, especially on top of this mount, because on top of this mount, you can see that it doesn't have a swivel head, okay? And then I just have some extra adapters. This is what I use to get the GoPros on top of light stands, grip stands, C-stands, same thing here. Grip stand, light stand, C-stand, that kind of thing. Just an extra GoPro style mount if I do encounter. Sometimes you get lucky and you can encounter a GoPro mount just attached to something, and then you can click your GoPro in, okay? And then I have these guys. These are AlumaCube stands. I really like these because they fold up nice and small. So this is a AlumaCube mini tripod. This here is a ball head that I really like. This is the Giottos. I don't know if it's right, but Giottos or Giottos MH1304. I like these. These are pretty strong, okay? And I've used lots of different ball heads throughout the years, and I like these. They're pretty strong. They're not like indestructible, but they're very strong. When you cinch that down, it feels like it's not gonna, you know, come loose. So I rock with 2 of those, okay? This is the same exact thing, okay? I just really like these because they double as like a selfie stick, you know? Old school selfie stick or short selfie stick plus a stand. Like, these are by far one of the most versatile pieces of kit that I put in here, all right? And they just fold up so small, and I really, really, really like them, okay? And then let's get to audio. So I run with 2 of these. These are Tentacle Track E's, okay? That's what these are. I have 2 of these. In my early days of audio production, I would use these more often for the paying work that I do. These have slid into my behind the scenes kit, and I still use these for my paying work sometimes, but these only come in handy when I actually need an extra microphone and I'm tapped out. Like, I have around 6 channels of high quality wireless, Wizicom, Sennheiser, and the like. And then if I need more channels and the client's like, hey, can you just do some more channels? I'll use these, okay? Now, but most of the time, these are relegated to my behind the scenes kit. The reason I have 2 is because often I will talk to someone else, or I'll want to talk to someone else. Sometimes I chicken out and don't talk to someone else. But if I do run into a situation where I can interview somebody, having 2 of these around is awesome. And then I just use these Sennheiser ME2s. These are Sennheiser ME2s, not the MKE2s. These are the ME2s. So these are the mics that come with some of the Sennheiser wireless when you buy them. They're great because these Tentacle Track E's have Sennheiser connections, okay? That's awesome. It's really great. I like it a lot. These microphones are just average. I mean, they're just average. They're not great, they're not terrible, they're average. But I like them because, I mean, it's a $100 microphone. It's not a $500 cost 11D. And, you know, I can kind of abuse it. I know that I don't want to be disrespectful to my gear, but, you know, this is a $100 microphone, and I do kind of abuse it sometimes. I kind of just chuck it in this bag and, it, you know, whatever. So don't take that the wrong way, but this does get abused, all right? But that's 90% of the time what you're hearing on my videos. Right now, what I've got on me is I've got my Wizzycom MTP61. I rarely use these for behind the scenes content because normally I'm using these Wizzycoms for the paying side of the job. The job I'm there to do usually requires these. So right now I've got this Wizzycom MTP61 and I've got a mic hidden inside my shirt. I don't want to touch it because it's going to make all sorts of noise, but I just got it right in here. It's on a Bumblebee concealer. So that's what that is recording on today. Let me clip that back on my belt. And then the only other thing that rides in here, I'm making sure I'm not missing anything, is I have these Ursa snap pouches. Why do I use those? Well, I use these because frequently I like to put my tentacle in here, and that's honestly for discreetness, okay? Okay, that's for being discreet. That's the purpose I use it for my behind the scenes. If I have this on my belt, it's just a black felt, like, it's a lot less noticeable. That's all it is for. It's less noticeable. So if I have this out, when you have these powered up, you know, there's blinking lights and stuff. So oftentimes I will put it in these pouches because I don't want the blinking lights. You know, sometimes when I do have this exposed, I get asked like, hey, are you wearing a mic? Like, yeah, you know, again, my goal with all this behind the scenes content is to fade the behind the scenes aspect into the background. Like, I don't want it to become the main thing. So if I can just kind of put this in a black pouch, you know, it's better, okay? It's better, huh? And then I have, this is just a really basic kit of things that I bring along. I mean, this is just for wind protection. So these are Bumblebee wind furs, and then here's just some foam as a backup. And then I have along in the kit, I have a Bumblebee concealer that's specific to the ME2. I don't carry a lot of audio accessories along in the behind the scenes kit because I don't need a lot of accessories, because I'm usually traveling with my full audio kit and I have like everything I need in my full audio kit. So, you know, that's kind of what this is for. And this is just a Bumblebee accessory case. And then because I subscribe to the concept of having backups, I always carry a backup micro SD card. So that's all it is. It's a micro SD card, which forces me to bring this micro SD adapter, because you know what? Sometimes you need to adapt. You know, if I'm trying to get a video out quickly and I have one of my cameras and, you know, my laptop has the SD card slot, I can just pull it. So I've been in a situation where I didn't have the adapter and it's been very annoying. So I make sure I carry one of these at all times, okay? So that's my kit that I use to shoot behind the scenes content. I hope that helps. I don't get a lot of questions about what I use to shoot. I get occasionally some questions about, hey, what do you use to shoot all your YouTube videos? People are often shocked when they realize it's just GoPros. okay? Maybe you're shocked. Maybe you thought that I carried around a bigger set of cameras. I don't. I have a bigger set of cameras, but I use those for the paying work. And then I use these to make content for YouTube, which, by the way, I have really enjoyed making content for YouTube. And if you've made it this far, I just want to tell you that if you're a video production person or anybody that's in the creative field similar, adjacent to what I do, I just am going to encourage you to make content, okay? Make content. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I am an introvert and I am afraid of people. I know it seems weird. I am kind of afraid of people. I'm not the most introverted person you've seen, but I am on the introverted side of things. Making these videos for YouTube has been incredibly rewarding. I mean, incredibly rewarding. I thought it would be rewarding back in late 2024 when I decided to start posting, but I can confirm it is one of the most rewarding things I do. If you're a regular viewer out there and you've commented on my videos, I really appreciate that. If you're a new viewer and you comment on my videos, I really appreciate that. Everybody has been so kind and supportive, and you know what? I've just really enjoyed doing these YouTube videos. So get out there and make some content if you're wondering if you should. If you're watching this saying, maybe I should make some YouTube videos. Well, you probably should. Get out there and make some videos. Also, if you're out there freelancing and following the dream and trying to book some gigs, stick with it. Be encouraged, okay? Be encouraged. If it's hard now, it gets better. If it's good now, keep it going. Just know that freelancing comes in waves. Some of them are big waves, some of them are little waves. Keep chipping away. Keep building your network. Keep being the best person you can ever be on every set that you're on. Keep being helpful. Keep going the extra mile. Keep showing up on time, early. Actually, show up early, which is on time. You got this, okay? So, thank you for watching along. If you got any questions about the gear, don't be afraid to comment below and ask. But we will see you in the next one. Thank you.